Warning, this episode contains adult language, mature situations, gender-swapped Isekai main characters, overpowered abilities, a portable home with modern conveniences, personal time, and manga news. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Listener and viewer discretion is advised. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. I'm your host Zan, saying konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, and what's up? Hope you're excited for another fun-filled episode of this awesome podcast you can find at www.spiraken.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and various other social media sites. Just remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. And with that in mind, let's actually get to it, because if you remember from that last episode, I spun that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga, and it dictated to be there reviewing a very unique manga that is a little different than what I'm used to. And what are we talking about? Well, let's get to it. So the manga that we're talking about was actually written by Ashi. And it was illustrated by Keyaki Uchiuchi. And this is actually the manga adaptation of a light novel of a web novel. So it is an adaptation. So this is a light novel recreation. It was published by Kodansha and released over here under Seven Seas Entertainment. It was released in Shuyobu no Sirius magazine. Original run was 2019 to present, with currently 19 volumes of the manga and 16 volumes of the light novel. It is not complete. It is a shonen series, surprisingly, especially with some of the information that's in this title. I was actually rather shocked, because I was like, this is a shonen series? It has some very spicy moments, let's just say. This is a fantasy isekai series that's original title was Yoku Wakarane Kuredo Isekai ni Tensei Shiteta yo desu, or as it is translated into English as, this is screwed up, but I was reincarnated as a girl in another world. And for an interesting fact, I'm going to say this manga I actually can't show most of the images because of YouTube and other reasons. But let's get to it. So this manga is a standard isekai fare where it's a main character discovers that they are reincarnated from another person. And in this, it is Ren, a young orphan girl who had been sold off to a merchant who had some sinister plans for her, i.e. he was going to have sex with her and rape her a lot. And there was an accident that happened. She gets knocked out, wakes up, and she has the memories of her past life. And her past life was a little different, a little weird. She was a salaryman at a company that sold pharmaceuticals and medication. She was a doctor. And because of that, she has all the scientific know-how that she had when she was alive. And, well, when she was in her past life. And so she's decided that she is no longer going to live this subservient life, and she's going to exist. And how is she going to do that? Well, in this world, everybody has a little bit of magic. And her magic is called creation magic, which really doesn't do that much. It's if you know how to make some properties of something, you could make it. And generally people use it to make water, or they can maybe make things dry. Nothing too crazy. However, with Ren's scientific knowledge from her past life when she was a man, which is, they bring it up a lot, she's able to decipher and create things with basic knowledge. So she's able to actually make bricks and springs and weaponry and some other materials. And she can make it, as long as she has material that she can create it with, she can design and create these items. Like if she wants to bring it out of thin air, she can do something simple like she can make a rice ball. But if she has a bunch of wood around her, she can shape it into logs and lumber that's already cut to make a super house. Also, later on, she ends up getting more abilities that work on further, and she learns other types of magic and other skills as she's going on and on and on, because Ren wants to better herself, and she becomes the weird, mysterious witch in the woods. And this is essentially a isekai about her trying to live a very relaxed life now. And what does she do with her powers? She creates a full-sized house. And she starts off small, gets bigger and bigger and bigger, learns more. And also she discovers things like the fact that her body is very susceptible and sensitive to touch, which they bring up a lot. Actually, one of her new stats that she gets halfway through the series and becomes a major running gag throughout the series is her skill is known as lasciviousness. Sorry, not lasciviousness. It is, looking in the manga, it is called, yes, lasciviousness. And also giant boobs. Because, yeah, giant boobs. Because she has huge boobs and she can create stuff, including clothing. And she discovers the awesomeness of lingerie and other things. And even though she's a guy, she's kind of crazy. And then it gets more weird when she creates items, which she discovers that the reason why people make inventions are for war or for pleasure. We're going to leave it at that because there's a couple scenes where it says, we're going to transition over to this nice nature scene while things happen. And she has what is called a 7-hour workout, at least. And yeah, that's what the series is about. Eventually, she creates this giant modern house, which is really weird that it wasn't there before. She makes friends with a Fenrir and her cub, who she takes as a pet because she saves them and then feeds them. She learns healing magic. She makes potions. And then eventually she leaves and goes on an adventure. And that is the series in a nutshell. It gets more dirty and interesting from that. However, let's just be honest. Yeah, that's what I'm pretty much going to say about this. And how to describe this series? Well, honestly, I would love to be like, this is something unique and fun because it is main character is turned into a different gender and it should be interesting. No, this is the main character is turned into another gender and they just go with it and it does a lot of just sex jokes. There are some cool, compelling elements about her being using a simple power to get overpowered, becoming essentially cantrip mage. But for the most part, yeah. There are over 6 volumes out right now. I currently have the first volume, and honestly, I think this is it. I mean, one of the actual lines in this is, now I know I'll be able to make my progress in my quote-unquote nightly research. And what is her nightly research? Well, she's going to discover herself. Or, let's just be frank, she's going to play with herself a lot. And create a bunch of items which are used for like a back massager, but it's not really a back massager. We all know where this is going, and yeah, that's kind of whatever. I would love to just say this is worth it, but it's not. There's some good elements to it. The art style is clean. The basic story idea is kind of creative. There are some cool elements, especially with the Fenrir, especially with her using creation magic to be able to create medications and concrete, and her being very intelligent about it. I do like that. However, the whole joke of her doing stuff, just, it's not working. It's been done before. And for that reason, I have to give this our second lowest rating of, have it on the background while surfing the internet for porn. Oh, sorry. Wrong one. Sorry. Let's go to the actual one. There we go. Typical reading material at local correctional facility or psychiatric institute. It has been a little bit of time, so yes. I have not done a low rating like this for a while, but yes, the typical reading material at local correctional facility or psychiatric institute. It's rough. It's really fucking rough. There's some good elements to it, but overall, it's kind of trashy. And if you don't read other isekais, you'll love it. If you want one where there's a character who swaps genders, there are better things out there. There are so much better out there. With isekais, there are so many better series than this. This one's pretty bad. It's not the worst. We've talked about some of the worst out there. This one's just kind of like, let's kind of half-ass it. And that's the thing. And I'm surprised there are 9 volumes of this. 9 volumes of the light novel and then 19 volumes of the manga. It makes me confused and bewildered. So that's my thoughts. If you've read this, what are your thoughts? Let me know. Email me personally at Zan, that's Xan at Spiraken.com. Or you can tweet me personally at X me on X at Spiraken, or on Blue Skies, I'm at Spiraken.bbs. All these will be in the show notes. And the random question for the episode, let's get to it because we got a good one this week. It's going to be, well, which ecchi manga should I bring to the Wheel of Manga? Because ecchi can be fun. It can be very different. It all depends on how it's presented. And this is an ecchi manga that just, it's not even lowbrow. Just, they don't go too far in anything. It's just, we're going to introduce this but not do anything. If they had done something, I would have been more compelled. But honestly, it's kind of crappy. But anyway, with that in mind, let's actually get to the next thing, which is the manga releases for the week. And we've got some good ones this week. A couple of really, really good ones. So let's go. So starting off with, well, So I'm a Spider, So What? Chapter 66.2 was released this week. This is a filler for So I'm a Spider, So What? In the manga. Pretty nice. Then after that, we had a fun one. We're talking about 365 Days to the Wedding, Volume 1. The story of two people who are very antisocial who work in a travel agency and they have to get married in order to not be shipped to Russia. What's going to happen? How's this going to go? I am excited to read this. I'm going to put this on the Wheel of Manga after next week probably, but we'll see. Then we have A Sign of Affection, Volume 7. Adachi and Shimamura, the light novel, Volume 11. Afro Samurai, Volumes 1 and 2, the box set. The Adalero Illustrations, Toilet Bound Hanako-kun Art Book, Volume 2. Ayakashi Triangle, Volume 6. Blue Exorcist, Volume 28. Card Captor Sakura, Clear Cards, Volume 14. Cat on the Hero's Lap, Volume 1. Die Dark, the box set, which is Volumes 1 and 4 of the series. Disney Twisted Wonderland, Volume 2. Fly Me to the Moon, Volume 20. Helk, Volume 6. Hitorajibi My Hero, Volume 14. Lazy Dungeon Master, Volume 6. Made in Abyss, Season 1 box set. These are manga volumes 1 through 5. Mal, Volume 14. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid in Color, the double chromatic version. Next we have the Orange Complete Series box set. So both volumes of Orange in a nice box set. Even though this already came out as an omnibus, they wanted to do something a little bit different. Then we have Reincarnated as a Sword, the light novel, Volume 13. Sakura Saku, Volume 1. Shaman King Flowers, Volume 5. Sheep Princess in Wolf's Clothing, Volume 1. Sleepy Princess in the Demon's Castle, Volume 22. The Ancient Magus Bride box set, Season 1, which is manga volumes 1 through 9 of the series. And if you have not read Ancient Magus Bride, I highly recommend it. It is a very unique story. Then The Case Files of Jeweler Richard, the light novel, Volume 6. The Dangerous Convenience Store, Volume 1. The Duke of Death and His Maid, Volume 9. Star Seekers, Volume 1, Mangua. The Strongest Sage with the Weakest Crest, Volume 15. The Tale of the Outsiders, Volume 8. The Weakest Tamer Begins a Journey to Pick Up Trash, Volume 4. Time Stop Hero, Volume 8. Tokyo Aliens, Volume 5. Tokyo Revengers, the Omnibus, Volumes 15 to 16. Wolf Girl and Black Prince, Volume 4. And then last and certainly not least, we have Yamihara, Volume 1. So these are the manga releases that came out this week from last Thursday to today. And I've got to admit, there are some really good ones and some really classy ones. And for me personally, here's my top 5 that I thought were the most excellent or outstanding for this week. We have, in order, 365 Days to the Wedding, Volume 1. It is something different. It is a little unique. And more importantly, it is fun. And that's where I'm going with it. I think this is a fun story to talk about. But anyway, so you have that. Then you have A Sign of Affection, Volume 3. This series has done great things for ASL and for characters with disabilities. I love this story of a young girl who's deaf who falls in love with a guy who wants to get into her world in a very unique way. I've got to say, this is one of those ones I picked up randomly because it has that old school design. It looks like the old Viz covers from the 90s. And I was like, I got to check this out. And I love it. I can't wait to review this. This is one that I'm really going to enjoy talking about. And Greta definitely, I think, will love it too. Probably get her on here. Next, The Cat Sleeps on the Hero's Lap. You know I love a good cat story. The Duke of Death and His Maid, Volume 9. We're now getting to the part where it's going to be pretty interesting, and maybe we'll get to the end of the story. Will the Duke finally find the answer to his curse? Will he not? We'll have to wait and see. And then Sakura Saku, Volume 1. This series is one which is a different spin on things. So I got to say, that is going to be a more, well, unique story. We're going to see where it goes. But which are the ones that you're most interested in? Let me know. Email me personally, zan@spiraken.com, or tweet me at Spiraken. Let me know your thoughts and your minds on what you enjoyed in this week and what you weren't excited about this week. And before I forget, first off, thank you so much for listening and checking out the podcast. I appreciate it. I love all you guys. You guys are awesome. Every email I get, every tweet I get gives me more confidence and more motivation to keep doing this podcast as long as I have. We have been doing it since 2008 and it has been a while. And I'm going to tell you this now, over the next couple of weeks, it is going to be kind of sporadic. The reason for that is that I got a promotion at my non-podcaster job. Crazy, right? They gave this guy a promotion, but because of that, I now have a little bit more work on my plate. So they're going to be doing a bunch of training. So it may be a little sporadic over the next couple of weeks, but I am going to get back to things, back to normal ASAP, I promise. So with that in mind, remember, you can check out our earlier episodes, www.spiraken.com. You can email me personally at Zan, that's Xan, at spiraken@gmail.com. Follow us at Spiraken on YouTube. Remember to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notification, like it, recommend it to your friends, and more importantly, just subscribe to us on all the different medias. We're on iTunes, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on everything. So like us, subscribe us. We do have a Patreon that I am retrofitting. I'm changing some stuff around just to make it a little bit better. And we're going to make it awesome. But I digress. So with that in mind, let's get to the part that you have all been waiting for, and you know what we're talking about. We are talking about that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga! Yes, friends, the Wheel of Manga, except no substitute. Now, what is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a Wheel of Fortune, and what we've done is we've assigned a manga tile to each of the 10 spots on this Wheel of Fortune, and when I spin it, whatever number it lands on, the manga that's in that spot is what I'm going to review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 536. Can you believe it? 536 episodes already. So let's spin and see what we're going to review in the next episode, shall we? Very hypnotic. Number 3. Takane and Hana. That one's kind of cool. Takane and Hana. What is it about? I don't know, but we're going to see and we're going to find out. So I guess that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for listening. As usual, I am your host, Zan. I am Gonzville. I'll catch you guys next time. And keep reading manga. See you later.